Alright folks, this is the last Glory Alliance V2 video. We've got the green, yellow, blue, and red vehicles, and all four of these don't have robot modes like the figures in the back there. These four all merge into one giant robot. This is a very similar set to the mini Force figures or sets that I've gotten a look at where the vehicle modes just turn into, components. Let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing we need to do is go to each figure and pull off accessories. So for green, we're going to pull off these guns that are on the bottom of its wings and then put green off to the side. For red, we're going to pull off the blades and put them off to the side. For yellow, we'll pull off the claws, which are the same exact claws as the actual transforming figure comes with. And this thing, which is the same. And then for this guy, forgot to remove the light bar from yellow. And the guns on top of that guy. All right, let's start with yellow. Transformation is somewhat similar. We fold up the entire sides of the vehicle mode and flip that front wheel in. And there's a giant pair of legs under here. Flip out the toes, unpeg that whole backpack, grab this whole section and flip it up and over. You see it's all connected in there, but first, whoop. So next we're going to come to the front of the bumper, and these gray pieces will unpeg. And I always pull them off their hinges. So then the front bit folds down and forms the crotch plate, and then these guys will fold down and form the side skirts. Though I keep thinking that they should be, turned around, but there's no room to turn them around. So you just got to put them down like that. And I got to fix that one. And then come to the back here and just fold that down and flip it around and fold that down into place. And the entire legs are almost ready. Extend the knees. And now these are ready to go. We just need a couple of things to transform before we plop something on top. And that something is going to be the blue one. So come to the back and flip that up. Then we can split the backpack apart. Grab the front. And then when we do that, we take these bits, white bits, fold them up. And then we want to pull the bottom of the vehicle mode out. Fold up these bits, and then they will all fold in, like that. And this will actually become a backpack that sticks up. And then we've got the peg that pegs in up there. And then this whole front section will come down and snap into place like that. All right, this whole section will then come to the back, or come to the legs, and you peg them in place. And I always have to get the side skirts out of the way, drop that in, and then get those side skirts back kind of just sitting there. And then we need to, 1, grab the arms, and 2, grab the head. All right, we're going to start with the figure's left arm, and that is formed by, the helicopter. So grab the tail rotor, flip it up to reveal a hand, come to the sides and unpeg these panels, and then come to the top where the rotor is and open it up. And there is a connector bit that is right there, and that is supposed to fold up like that. And then the arm slides out. Take the plane or helicopter, turn it down, bring that back in, and bring that back closed. And then this whole section flips around, and that will peg into the wheel. And then this will peg onto the wheel. And this is really weird because there is molding there that will fit inside the hubcap, but getting it lined up is such a glorious pain in the butt. It is really annoying, but once you do get it, it will stay pegged in, which is good. So once you do get it pegged in correctly, it'll look something like this. I realize it looks like it's falling off, but it's supposed to go flush and those little prongs go inside the hubcap. And I actually had the connector bit upside down, at least according to the directions. All right, so now that that's done, let's go ahead and take care of green. Green's transformation into a limb is virtually identical to red's, except, it's a plane instead of a helicopter. So we got to open up that section in the middle, pull out the fist, or pull out the arm, open up the back of the vehicle mode and flip out the fist, close that up, and then come to the canopy, and this whole section is supposed to open up. Come on. Because the connector bit is in there. And this is harder than it needs to be. There we go. All right, get that out, flipped up. Close that, fold up the landing gear, and fold this section down. I don't know if I had any of that on camera. I'm sorry if I didn't. Then we take the green wings and we swing them up to the top like that. This whole section we need to turn around. That goes down like that. And then the wings fold back. Oops, I have it backwards. And the wings fold out like that. And then they collapse in like this. And that's kind of it. Now we have to get that pegged in up there. All right, now the last thing we need to do is a head, and we have an extra figure for that. We've got this new figure that is much better painted than any of the other figures for the heads that we've gotten so far. This thing looks absolutely fantastic, and it's actually pretty darn posable. Head's on a ball joint. There's a ball joint in the shoulder, ball joint in the elbow, ball joint in the leg, and then hinge for knees. And it's quite big too, at least comparatively. See, it is a lot bigger, but the transformation is exactly the same as before. Come to the back and unpeg the head, flip down the combiner peg, legs flip up and peg into the thighs, and then the bottom feet peg together, head folds back, shoulders fold back, and then the arms fold in and peg into the jawline, and legs flip up, and then the top comes down over, kind of backwards. Top comes down over, and there we go. I got to admit, I really like the head. It's really good. The silver, the blue, and the yellow all work very well together. Getting it pegged in, though, is a bit of frustrating because every time I peg it in, the figure just wants to fall over and or uncombined. So you have to push it in, and then you have to push the chest back into place. And here we have the final combine mode. Now, I have not put all the accessories on yet, but the final combine mode looks pretty good, holds together horribly. The arms, once they're in, they're not going anywhere, but as soon as you pick the figure up and wiggle it a little bit, yep, it just falls right apart. These pegs are not strong whatsoever, and every time you move the side skirts, it pushes up and unpegs it. And it's kind of a mess. It really is kind of a mess. And especially on the right shoulder, I hate the way this right shoulder looks. I've not been able to find any other way to clean it up or any way that makes it look better. It's just kind of the way it is, unless you take the wings and you fold them in like that. That's the only other way I've found to make that shoulder look better. Okay, now there are a bunch of accessories. We have a mess of weapons and accessories that we need to attach to this guy. Remember these two guns that were attached to green? They will get pegged into the helicopter on either side of the canopy, like that. And then the rescue light bar will go right on top of his chest, like that. Then there's this accessory, which I had not shown you yet. This will peg in to the chest. And I did mess up the transformation just a smidge because there is supposed to be a hook coming off of this piece. So I have to pull him apart, reach inside, and pull out this hook. Yeah, that looks weird. And the reason it looks weird is because the front bumper is supposed to collapse and then slide down into that open cavity, and the bumpers are supposed to go behind this gray piece. And once they do that, we can then grab this blue helicopter bits, and that will attach to the chest. And then that frees up the head for its posability, which it's not actually in the directions, because the directions take you from the big combined robot back to the vehicles, not the other way around. For the rest of the accessories, the little claw bits for yellow go on the side of the lower legs. Blue's cannon and gun go on the red helicopter, and then 2 of the red helicopter blades combine to form this sword thing that doesn't actually peg into his hand. Blue comes with 2 gigantic revolvers that attach RoboCop style to the outer thighs, and then yellow's giant crane claw pegs into the right arm, like that. The blue light bar that went on yellow goes onto the back, like that. And then the rotor that I forgot to pull off the helicopter, and the last 2 blades pop onto the shoulder, and there's a little peg hole up there, and hang off just like that. Now, I will admit, I love the look of this thing. I do. I think with all the accessories piled up and everything in place, it looks amazing and looks great on the shelf. But man, this thing does not hold together well. The torso comes apart very easily. The ratchets in the hips and are strong, but the ratchets in the knees are incredibly weak. Like just a single tap will make it fall over. I specifically didn't tap hard enough to make it fall over. The arms, while posable, aren't the best looking. You can pose them, but there's no ratchet in there on either side, so they just fall. There are ratchets in the elbows, which good, but the rest of it, no. And then this thing hanging off the back. Oh, I hate this. This thing just sucks. It acts like it's supposed to peg in, but it doesn't. There's nowhere for it to peg in, and it's just supposed to hang back there, but like that. But most of the time, it just ends up falling and making the whole figure fall over. In terms of size, here we have Leader Megatron and Commander Class Skyfire. It's a little bit bigger than Commander Class Skyfire. And by Skyfire, I mean Jetfire. Well, crap. He tried to dab, and this was the result. All right, you know what? That's it. I've had enough of this thing. It looks good, but man, it just does not hold together well, and it doesn't stand well, and it doesn't pose well. It's not worth the $30 I paid for it off AliExpress. So folks, let me know what you think of this disaster down in the comments. I've been Baltmatrix, and I'm gonna go get a drink.